Welcome, everyone, to another live episode of This Week Unloaded. This week we have with us the Crazy Scotsman. How are you tonight, Scotsman?
I'm good, bro. I'm glad I finally was able to get figured out so we could get on here.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm just glad to have you.
Yeah, pleasure to you, brother.
Yeah, and we also have with us Mr. John Z from New York. How are you tonight, John?
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
And we also have the gun snob, but he had to go let his dog out. I don't know if he's back.
I'm back.
You are back. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So before we get started, any of you guys have anything you want to mention or talk about real quick? Oh, Tardot just joined us. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm not doing too bad. Just realized what time it was. We've been kind of busy today.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see the articles I had sent you earlier? If not, you can just wing it.
Yeah, I'll probably just have to wing it. I didn't see the ones you had earlier.
All right. Now, I was just asking if anybody had anything they wanted to talk about real quick before we go diving into things. If not, we will start with the latest in the Kavanaugh situation, which I will put the link out there on. Oh, did I? Shoot, I just thought of something. I don't remember if I started this over on Gun Channels. I think I did. Let me check that real quick. Here. We should be up. Okay, yes, I did. I loaded over on Gun Channels. Alrighty. So, hello over there on Gun Channel side as well. I see Gun Snob just popped in over there. Dead Horse is over there. Of course, it says Dead Horse is sleeping, so I don't know if he's actually there or not. He was there before I opened the channel earlier, so he might just be hanging there. Let's see. Where was I going? Oh, yes. Over here to YouTube. For those of you who did not go and click the link in the description, here is the link to the first story there. So what we're going to do is we are going to go down to the 5th paragraph in that story because the first 4 just are a refresher on what happens in that case. So it talks about how 3 people have said that, nope, we have no knowledge of the Kavanaugh being at this party and doing what Miss Ford, or Professor Ford, whatever you want to call her, has said happened. But now, however, a woman, Leland Ingram Kaiser, a former classmate of Ford's at the Holton Arms All-Girls School in Maryland, has been identified as Ford as a 4th witness at the party. In a dramatic twist, Kaiser emerged Saturday night to say she doesn't know Kavanaugh or remember being at the party with him either. Simply put, Miss Kaiser does not know Mr. Kavanaugh, and she has no recollection of ever being at a party or gathering where he was present with or without Dr. Ford, Kaiser's lawyer, Howard J. Walsh III, said in an email to the Senate Judiciary Committee that was obtained by Fox News. Ford, the Post acknowledged in an article by reporter Emma Brown on Saturday, had told the paper more than a week ago about Kaiser and said she did not think Kaiser would remember the party because nothing remarkable happened there as far as Kaiser was aware. So here's the question, guys. If she is putting Kaiser on her witness list, wouldn't you think that maybe Kaiser might have known what was going on for that to be the case?
Isn't it kind of difficult to know what's going on when it's all made up?
Well, not to, that's beside the point here, but yeah, you got a valid point. But I mean, if you're going to put somebody on your list that you know didn't know what was going on, didn't happen, why put them on your witness list in the first place?
Maybe hoping they don't verify it.
It comes down to the whole throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, except for what they're throwing it against is a yearbook to see which name is going to stick. They're going, oh yeah, I remember being at that party. They're wanting somebody to put both of them in the same place at the same time. It's all it is.
Yeah, and this is somebody that she says is a lifelong friend of hers. And when it's basically what her lawyer basically was saying was, this is the first time she's heard of this.
Well, she didn't pay him enough, that's why.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You think they collaborated that story a little better before they listed it as a witness, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that you would get a witness that actually knows what the hell you're talking about, right?
Well, and that's kind of crazy too, because lawyers normally will verify the witness and question the witness before they even list them as a witness.
Yeah, because you didn't want that on there.
Yeah, but that brings up another interesting point, Scotsman. I'm glad you brought that point up, because I don't know if you saw it earlier in the week, but her lawyers actually came out and said it's not Mrs. Ford's job to determine or prove what happened in this case.
Oh,
Whose
really?
job is it?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's a crock of shit.
That one I heard. You know what? Ford's lawyer, I'm willing to bet, is one of those. She just picked a name out of a phone book or something, or found a lawyer who just wants some
Money.
credibility to her name.
Yeah, I mean, this just stinks all the way around.
And in addition to the Kavanaugh case, there's more articles, newer ones, that have come out in the last couple of hours stating that even Kavanaugh's calendar back at that time period doesn't coincide with her allegations. So that's more wood on their fire. And they're just, like you guys said, they're just trying to throw those heaps of poop everywhere, just trying to get something to stick. And they're just, case is just burning apart.
Well, weren't they supposedly either in high school or college or something when that happened?
This was in high school. He was 17.
Okay, well, I've only been out of high school 17 years, I guess. But, you know, because I'm 34. So whatever that would be. I don't remember everything about what happened at every high school party I was at. But, you know, I don't know. It just makes no sense to me that they put somebody on there that knows nothing. You'd think she'd at least remember if they were friends, whether he was there or not.
Well,
Yeah, I mean-
also don't forget this might also be a stall tactic, because the Democrats would love to be able to stall this for as long as they can.
Well, I think that's all it is.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
If they can smear that person's name for as long as they can smear it, they're going to accomplish their goal.
Yeah, they're not trying to win this in a hearing. They're trying to win this in the court of public opinion. The problem with the Democrats at this point in time, yeah, public opinion might work for an election, because they're basically pulling the same thing here as they did with Judge Roy Moore. If you guys remember, and also keep in mind, this is not the first time they've done this with a Supreme Court nomination either. If you go back to Clarence Thomas,
That's correct.
yeah, they're trying. But anyway, what I was saying was they're trying to pull this like as though people are going to be swayed come an election by this.
Yeah, because they can't stop him from getting in. There's no way.
No.
They're not going to stop him.
Not with this nonsense they're pulling.
No, I don't think they're going to stop it from happening. But I think what they're trying to do is, you know, they'll use this in November. Say, hey, look what the Republicans are pulling.
And if you need any more proof of that, watch Yankee Marshall's show where he was talking about this, and all he kept saying about was how this is going to hurt the Republicans come election. This is going to hurt the Republicans during the election, because that's what the Democrats want. And if anybody knows, it's Yankee, because he is a liberal.
But I think it's going to hurt the Democrats more than it hurts the Republicans, because I think most people will see through this BS.
Yeah, but Yankee has the mindset of what the liberals are doing because he is one. So
yeah, you would hope they would see through it, but most people nowadays, unfortunately, don't even pay attention.
Yeah.
True. But I couldn't stay on that chat of Yankees. I tried watching it, and I just had to give up and find something better. Like I said, I wouldn't watch obnoxious videos after I watched a little bit of that. I was like, yeah, I'll watch him.
Every time Yankee said that she is credible, and I'm willing to bet Sarge was feeling the same way because he was in the chat too. Both of us were yelling at Yankee that she was in no way, shape, or form credible at all. And
Well, Yankee aside, and this is on another note, on another topic you're going to be bringing up, and this holds true for that as well. How is it possible that anybody could possibly vote Democrat when they get the type of people that they see currently on the Democratic Party and the way they act, always pointing fingers at the other side And when it comes back to them and found to be true, they shrug it under the carpet. Democrats have a huge carpet, and that mound hill keeps getting higher and higher.
I'm pretty sure the Democrats' carpet all has bodies rolled in it.
Yeah,
You're
nice
misunderstanding
segue
that.
there, John, because that just happens to be the topic of our next discussion, folks.
Dun 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 dun.
For those of you who do not know about what's going on with the Keith Ellison story, I am going to post a story that has the timeline of that right now over in the YouTube side. And I will go over here to the gun channel side for those of you who may be watching over there and post that there as well. And basically what we got here on the Ellison story is Keith Ellison, who is a member of the House from Minnesota and the only Muslim in the House of Representatives at this time, and who is running for the Attorney General position in the state of Minnesota, has been accused by his former girlfriend of physical and verbal abuse during their relationship which ended back in 2016. She has released a copy of her medical record through Twitter and Facebook, in which a doctor actually has him by name in the medical record as her abuser. And where this fits in with the last one comes in on the article I'm going to post now. There's for you folks over there on YouTube. And for you folks over there on gun channels, which right now looks like is Einstein, Dead Horse, and the Gun Snob. Snob, you just get around, don't you?
Yeah, I try to be everywhere, you know.
Yeah, you're everywhere. Okay, so on this third article, this is technically the second article we were going to talk about, but it's one of three articles that we were talking about tonight. Anyway, Keith Ellison, domestic violence abuser, says Democrat Party doesn't believe her story. There's a shock, folks. The woman who accused Minnesota Democrat Representative Keith Ellison of domestic abuse said on Monday that Democrats don't believe her story and threaten to isolate her over the allegations. Yes, she is a Democrat. This is not somebody from the other party accusing him, excuse me. Karen Monahan, a former girlfriend, came forward last month alleging that Ellison sent threatening text messages and once screamed obscenities at her as he drugged her off a bed by her feet. Ellison has denied the accusation, saying he never behaved this way. He did acknowledge he was in a relationship with the woman. The allegations didn't lead to any immediate action against the congressman except for the announcement that the Democratic National Committee, who Ellison is the deputy co-chair of, by the way, would review the accusations. He went on to win the Democratic primary election for Minnesota Attorney General. Monahan slammed the Democratic Party for its response to her allegations when compared to his treatment of Christine Blasey Ford, or Blasey, whatever, however you pronounce that. Ford has accused Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of attempting to force himself onto her during a high school party nearly 4 decades ago, prompting prominent Democrats to get behind Ford's allegations. No, they don't, Monahan tweeted in response to a question whether the party believes women's stories. I've been smeared, threatened, isolated from my own party. I provided medical records from 2017 stating on 2 different doctor visits I told them about the abuse and who did it. My therapist released records staying alive and dealing and healing from the abuse. She added 4 people, including my supervisor at the time, stated that I came to them after and shared the exact story I shared publicly. I shared multiple texts between me and Keith where I discussed the abuse with him and much more. As I said before, I knew I wouldn't be believed, which is why she says she never came forward before. Her comment came after another user pointed to a comment made by Peter D-A-O-U, Dow, I guess is how you would pronounce that. A Democratic strategist and former advisor to Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, who wrote in a tweet that Kavanaugh accuser would be attacked, smeared, and demonized, and that people must believe women. Many other Democrats and progressives who stayed silent when the accusations against Ellison emerged came out in support of Ford, including Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and Tom Perez, chairman of the DNC, who urged to investigate the claims and Kavanaugh. Monahan went to reiterate that her story has nothing to do with politics. I have nothing to prove to anyone. I simply shared my story. People can believe it or not. I don't need anyone to affirm my humanity. I affirmed it, she wrote in another tweet. The fact that both parties only care if it scores political points is hypocritical, she added. So, yeah, what we got here, folks, in case you're not able to keep up with what the point here is, which I'm sure my audience is well able to do it, but you never know when a liberal might sneak in. Sorry, I had to get that jab in there. This is a clear case of hypocrisy. You got on one hand the left wanting to put Ford on their shoulders. Look, we have a victim. We have a victim. Yet when you actually have a victim who is going against their side, oh nope, never happened. Nope, ignore that. Don't look at that. We'll investigate it ourselves.
And that's been long-standing action of people who vote Democrat. Whenever they have a victim come forward, they hide it, they shrug it off, and whenever it's someone on their opposing side, it's the fake news media just jumps on that like a tiger on fresh meat, while at the same time, those same Democrats, they totally nullify the justice that is required for actual victims. They totally destroy the real victims' stories, and it's just it's so laughable the way they act, and it's just for political points. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at going back to the Bill Clinton, there is a long list of women who have come forward against him. Nothing's ever been done.
He looks like a shredded prune anyway.
Well, I like the comment of, it's not about political points. That right there tells you it is. You're throwing it out there in order to gain support by saying that and hoping they side with you, and the fact that it's not.
My whole problem with both of these stories is, why in the hell do people feel it necessary to air their dirty laundry on Twitter? If either one of these are real, why are they not going to the authorities and doing that? Why are we putting it all out?
There's a reason why the Ellison accuser went on social media. She was defending her son. He's the one that originally broke the story on Ellison.
And they actually started to attack her son.
Yeah, people started to attack him. So she wasn't going to do anything. She put this out there because people started attacking her son. She came to her son's defense on the situation.
Well, everyone can hate me all they want, but if you don't go to the police and make a report of it, then when it happened, then sorry, I'm out on supporting you.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. She obviously put her son up to posting that stuff. So that's total BS, because she had to push him to do so that she could come out and say what she wanted to say.
She could still go to the police with this, because the statute of limitations on her case isn't up yet, unlike the other one.
But I don't know. I just don't understand why you don't do it sooner, before you go. If you're gonna, I understand people are scared. I understand when people are scared to go to the police and tell stuff about that. I understand that, and that's not what I'm referring to. But as far as like, if you're going to blast it out to the public, you should have went to the police before you did that.
Yeah, the thing that I find her more believable than the other one is just what Andrew Faulkner touched on out there. The Democrat playbook says to do it the other side, not your own side.
No, I completely agree. And I'm not saying she's not. I'm just saying I don't understand why people feel the need to do it the way they're doing it and not the opposite. And it's these Hollywood stars, and all of them are doing it that way. All this Me Too movement.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, it's because
the
they're in the
Me
public
Too.
eye. They want to gain more publicity by posting it first, and then when there's so many people following and talking about it and everything else, their name's out there even more. So that's their goal.
Right. For
No, I
some,
don't
also
disagree.
for some people who
And
post this stuff on
you got to
social
think too.
media, for some people who post this stuff on social media, it's a way for them to get the strength to do it.
Yeah, and
Move
there's
forward.
another thing that the article didn't touch on with on the Ellison case too. This isn't the first time that he's been accused. The first accuser, who was another ex-girlfriend of his, who accused him of assault, both verbal and physical, did go to the police, and nothing came of it.
Well, and that's something I was going to bring up is, you said in the article, it stated that he was listed as the abuser on medical record. Why did the medical staff not seek, any kind of, hey, this woman's been abused and we know who the abuser is? Because obviously,
Depending on the state, they can't. The certain states, medical professionals can refer it to a police as a police matter. Others, they can't without the permission of the person being abused. I don't know what Minnesota's laws are. I don't know if that would be why, but that could be a reason why.
I don't know. Both cases are kind of screwed up in my opinion, but I do think the other one is much more credible than the Kavanaugh, the Ellison one. But at the same
You're right
time,
about that.
I just lose all credibility whenever you're doing it the way you're doing it. And I don't care whether they're Hollywood stars or political or whatever. You lose all credibility when it comes out like that, to me, personally.
I tend to want to believe her when she says that she didn't go forward because she didn't think she was going to believe. Because, again, it's happened before where Ellison did abuse somebody. They went forward to the police and everything, and nothing came of it. It was covered up, pushed under the rug.
And
Okay,
also,
well, that's when you blast it on Twitter then.
right. Also, like you mentioned earlier, when people come forward in the Democratic Party and it's their party, they
End
tend
up
to
dead.
shun those people. They tend to excommunicate them, shun them, embarrass them, put them in the spotlight like they're the evil ones. That's why a lot of the victims wait this long to come forward in the Democratic Party.
And in the grand scheme of things, it's not all that. She didn't wait all that long.
No, not at all.
No, not like Kavanaugh.
It wasn't 35 years, that's for
No,
sure.
it wasn't 35 years. It's been less than 2 years since the relationship ended, in less than around a year, a little longer since she started getting the therapy that those medical records came from. So in the grand scheme of things, it hasn't been that long since that happened.
Well, see, and that's what I have a problem with Kavanaugh's accuser is if you've let it go 35 years, 40 years and not had the balls to step up and say something about it, then just keep your mouth shut. Now.
And why didn't she come forward when he was being confirmed as a federal judge? Because he's already sitting on a federal bench.
Yeah.
Why didn't she come forward during those confirmation hearings?
Because it doesn't play into the political agenda, but it does now.
Exactly.
Yep. That's exactly it.
I don't think it would have came forward if it would have been the last what's his name's hearing. I can't even think of his name. The last justice we just got, Gorsuch. I don't think if it would have been him, I don't think it would have came forward because it wasn't right before the election. That's what they're playing on, is right before the election.
I don't know about that one because, again, we go back to Clarence Thomas. That wasn't right before a major election either. Yeah,
they put Clarence Thomas, under steamroller the way they abused him when he was a nominee. And it was just despicable, and it's just as despicable today with them trying to gain political points and taking real victims and really throwing them to the side. Real victims, when they do things like this. It's so despicable and inhumane to treat people this way.
Yeah. And then the one quote from somebody who, I think it was the Democrat chairman, "Oh, we got to believe women. Whenever women say is true on the Ford case with Kavanaugh, but not on the Ellison case. Oh, no, we don't have to listen to her.
Not a word, not even a peep."
It's pathetic. That is what it is. It's absolutely pathetic.
that's one thing that just frustrates me more and more about this country every day is, women, if they say it, it's automatically the man's job to prove himself innocent. That's just how it comes to be. I went through a divorce 10, 12 years ago, and I was a police officer and had a restraining order put against me during it. And for nothing. Wasn't even here the day she said I was.
Well, it's commonplace. It's commonplace today for the Democrats, and it's been like that for the last 2 years, to just throw out any and all false allegations against the other side, just trying to bring down the party and to gain what they want.
Yeah.
That's what it's been. I'm not condoning it from either side, but it's just despicable the way they've been abusing it to get what they want.
You said about you don't like what you don't like about this country. It happens in other countries too, and like where I'm from, dude, they did the same stuff. They play the game, and the game is ridiculous, and it's all about getting the vote and doing this and doing that, and I'm so sick of it.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, it's played out more here in the U.S., but. It's just very, very frustrating because all they do is just play on certain things to gain the vote, to sway this, to sway that, instead of focusing on what they're supposed to do and doing their actual job.
Well, it looks to me like women that have actually been in the abuse situation, truly, have been abused, ought to be against this woman going after Kavanaugh because of how she's doing it and how it's being played. They ought to be the ones out there speaking up against her.
Right. And the people who are doing this are defaming those actual real victims.
Oh, absolutely.
And you got to love how the Democratic Party always throws themselves out there as the party of women. They're the party of women unless you're accusing one of them of doing something to you. Then it's the party of throw you under the bus.
Hillary Clinton lawyer. Look at the girls that she's thrown under the bus, the real victims, while she was whatever the hell she was.
She is nothing and has always been nothing, and she'll always be nothing.
Agreed.
Murderer.
America.
Oh, I said murderer.
No, she's not a murderer. She's a suicider.
Oh, yeah, sorry, suicide.
Yeah.
He suicided by shooting himself in the back of the head twice.
Yep.
But the people who have been running on the Democratic
got a double tap
have in long history, not way before Clinton or whatever, that they take the real victims, and if it doesn't fit their agenda, they shrug them to the side, and they totally take away the victim in the story, and they make a joke out of it. Really, it's a disgusting system.
Well, it's the same. They do that same thing with everything, though. If it doesn't fit their agenda, with guns, whatever, they do that.
Right, but I'm pertaining it to this case, specifically. Like, we have real victims in this country, not just of rape and sexual assault, or all sorts of victims. And when people abuse the power of the political system to get what they want, you just hurt victims, and it's a despicable way to be, and you're not human when you do that.
Getting to that point, look at the last couple so-called mass shootings that disappeared from the news 2 or 3 days later because they didn't involve an AR-15.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I was getting at. Or, a few years ago, we had the OSU in Oklahoma. We had the OSU homecoming parade that they were, she ran over. I forgot even how many people she killed and injured with a car. Some crazy girl did.
And how many days
for 7 days? Yeah, it was. Our local news. Yeah, it carried it several days, but national news, it was on there one day.
Well, I mean, it's just like here. We had a good guy with a gun that stopped a bad guy with a gun. You heard of it for one day, and that was it. Done. Gone.
Well, that's how all those are.
Yeah, it gets to that point where if there's no political points to be made, then you don't hear about it.
Then to hell with the victims.
Yeah.
Fake news media. What a joke.
It's not a good situation.
And unfortunately, a lot of times the victims themselves won't step up and say anything because they've already been through enough.
Yeah, a lot of the time, the victims are, every time they talk about it, feel victimized all over again.
Yep.
It just brings everything that they're trying to put behind them right back there in the spotlight, and they don't like doing it.
No, and that's why they keep quiet. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to, you know. And it's unfortunate because then you get this kind of BS that goes on, and because they're not able to step up and say anything because they don't want to, because it brings back all those memories, people get away with this crap.
Yeah, it's either again, going back to the Ellison case, not only is it possibly bringing up traumatic events that she doesn't want to talk about, she also got ridicule from that she would face from coming forward, which she has faced. Some of the, if you look at some of the comments, I didn't read off any of those, but there was another article I was looking at where they actually had some, I think it was from Breitbart, where Breitbart was talking about it on their page. Some of the comments people were making against her, yeah, on her Twitter feed and the Facebook page were absolutely disgusting. So, and that doesn't help matters either.
No, it doesn't.
Tardot, you've been quiet for a couple minutes now. You got any thoughts on that? What we were just talking about?
I've been back and forth trying to deal with kids right now. They're kind of going crazy, but not. I mean, it's not anything that hasn't already been said, whether it's by myself or by anybody in this chat right now. I mean, we've all pretty much seemed to have the same sentiment on all this.
Yeah.
I just get so tired of the 24-hour news cycles on everything. If it fits their agenda, it's a 24-hour news cycle on it, no matter what it is, if it fits their agenda.
Yeah. Well, a couple months ago when we were talking on here about, it was when we had one of the mass shootings, about how it just seems like there's more of them. But it's not that there's more mass shootings. There's just more news coverage because every channel and their mother has a 24-hour news cycle they have to fill. We even have a local 24-hour news channel now that's coming out of the DC area.
And I don't even know if some of these news channels, it's not so much to do with a left agenda as much as it is money. They just are so money hungry advertisers' views.
Yeah, they got 24 hours to fill, and they'll fill it with anything that'll put eyes on the TV.
Anything to sensationalize the news.
Yeah.
Good news doesn't sell. So
No, it's always bad news or bullshit that sells.
Yeah, at one time the news was about informing. Now it's about entertaining, keeping people engaged with their channel.
Even back in the day, like Vietnam and stuff, they were picking and choosing what they could say.
Yeah, and back then they had to pick the best bits because they didn't have 24 hours.
Yeah, and they said what they wanted to say to encourage other people to join the military, to jump in and do this and do that. Like, we're winning this, we're doing this. When in reality, it wasn't always that way.
Well, and if you look at the 24-hour news cycle, when they start throwing the numbers of mass shootings out there, and they start, or that's just the best example. They throw some random number out there that they put together because they make up a statistic for mass shootings.
Yeah.
It makes it easy for those of the people that aren't involved in the Second Amendment community or the firearms community, or aren't really paying a whole lot of attention to that. When you see a 24-hour news cycle and you've got CNN first thing in the morning talking about it, and then they talk about it all throughout the day, and then they talk about it the next day and day after, and so on and so forth, it makes it easy for those people to believe, okay, yeah, there are these much mass shootings going on because I'm hearing it every day, when they don't realize they're hearing about the same thing every day, the same one.
Right, which is why if you remember a couple months ago when we were discussing that, I brought up the article that actually shows, and this was done by a university study in a left-wing university at that shows that mass shootings in this country, and in particular school shootings, are actually on a decline. That the 20-year high or 25-year, whatever it was back in 1993 for school shootings. So, I mean, but to hear the media tell it, you would think there's one every week.
Well, the fake news media made up those numbers, and then these studies came out to show these numbers were never even that high.
Yeah, there was a other
They were
article
made up.
recently that just came out that most of these so-called school shootings might have been somebody shot at a liquor store 3 blocks away from the school, but because it was 3 blocks away from the school, it was a school shooting.
Or went to the empty football field parking lot on a Sunday night to commit suicide, but that's a school shooting.
Yep.
One of them was a drug deal on a Saturday. It was either a Saturday or Sunday night that they reported as being a school shooting.
So the fake news media, I don't even know why they still call themselves news, but it's a joke.
I mean, my son had trap practice today, and they were on school property. So was that school shootings? All these kids out there shooting trap?
Yeah,
That's a lot of school shootings.
I should probably call CNN because my son went through about 50 shells today at his practice. So I mean, it must have been a big shooting because they have about 35 kids. So.
Heck yeah.
One of the things that was reported in that article that was talking about the fake school shootings was somebody took a cap gun to school, and they called that a gun incident on school, and therefore it got categorized as a school shooting because a 5-year-old had a cap gun in his backpack.
I think anybody with a quarter of a brain knows how badly the fake news media needs to get sensationalized news in order to make up their advertisers' money. So they'll make up just about anything.
I'll tell you what hurts are the older people, like my grandma and grandpa. They are 90 and 92 now, and I go up there weekly or almost daily. But anyways, I go up there, and every day it's something they're telling me. And one day he's arguing with me about an AR-15. Well, them are just too high powered. Ain't nobody needs something like that. You know, this stuff. I was like, really? So I come home, I get a 223 round, I get a 30-06 round, and carry him up there. I'm like, which one is the assault rifle round, according to him and his news? And he's Mr. Pro Gun, you know. He just doesn't know any different. He's old and didn't realize it. And he's like, oh, wow. And he's like, shut up about it. Never said another word since about him.
Nice.
I could just imagine if news media would have walked into my high school on Mondays and Tuesdays, because that's when in the junior ROTC drill hall, we were having air rifle practice.
Did they constitute that as a school shooting as well?
They would now.
They would now. Yeah, that was my point. We'd have had a school shooting in my school every Monday and Tuesday.
Could have a water fight with water guns. That would be a school shooting too.
I wonder if I call CNN and invite them to one of these trap and skeet practices, if they'll come and do a story on it. You know, on school property.
Yeah, they'll report school shooting.
No, they wouldn't because it's fake news.
Yeah.
And it would be a school shooting.
How dare you, you deplorable.
You know, one of the funniest things I've had happen in my career so far is I had someone come in who was doing a supposed paper for his college degree in media and so on and so forth, and he wanted to shoot an AR-15. Well, when he first walked in, he said assault rifle, and I corrected him and explained it all to him. He goes out there, he shoots 5 rounds and comes back out and says, that hurt, I don't want to shoot it anymore.
My daughter, when she was like 7 or 8, was shooting mine.
Yeah, this guy got through 5 rounds and was crying pretty much, and I just laughed.
Oh, God. You should have handed him a 357 next. 44, he probably broke his wrist.
Yeah, he couldn't even shoot a 22. Like this kid just, he was the perfect example of what is wrong with today's schooling. And yeah, I just busted out laughing. I'm just like, really, dude?
I don't even know if that kid would qualify as a beta. He's like a zeta. He's all the way down there.
Beta, so full of soy, probably.
What's funny is my son's 13, and they were out here 2 weeks ago, or no, a week ago, practicing skeet, and we were throwing. I had a box of 3-inch shells, so we were slipping the 3-inch shells in their pouches with their 2 3/4 in there, and none of them were whining about it, and they're all, little.
Yeah, I was 11 years old shooting 3.5-inch turkey loads. I mean,
Well, when I first got into guns, my first gun I shot was a 30-06 and a 44 Magnum.
my grandfather started me with a 22 revolver, but after that, it was a 357 Smith & Wesson 27 with 38s. And by the time I was 10, I was shooting 357 Magnum. So, I mean, these I don't know what to tell you, Scotsman, on that one.
It's real simple. We need to quit breeding snowflakes and make men.
My son is literally 13, and he will shoot anything I put in front of him. I don't care what it is. He will shoot it and not cry about it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's the schools themselves. Like, the schools are just babying them. Participation awards, all that crap. All of that needs to disappear.
I think the only time I've ever said "ow" when firing a firearm, other than when I hurt my elbow, the elbow injury I have now, but when I was a kid, was my stepfather's full choke single shot with a 3.5-inch turkey load. That freaking hurt. I don't know if you've ever fired one of them out of a 12-gauge single shot with nothing at all except for you and your shoulder to stop that recoil. That freaking hurt.
Well, I have a slide fire shotgun I built a long time ago with just a 2x4 stock on it, and I put a 3-inch buckshot in it and shot it one day, and I literally thought I was going to cry. And I'm a pretty big boy, but yeah, that was uncomfortable.
I fired 2 3/4 inch 10-gauge loads that didn't hurt as much as 12 one of those that turkey load out of that single shot did.
That's the reason I'm glad I live in a rural area, and our school's pretty rural, and the FFA teacher, the ag teacher, said, well, if you can't bring his gun up here, you can bring it up to school during the day, and we'll just lock it behind the seat of the ag truck to practice after school.
The good old days.
Yeah, I mean, we had fully operable 30-06 rifles in the junior RTC armory.
Whenever I was in high school, I traded one of my teachers a 22 mag rifle for, it was a coach, a 22 mag rifle for a set of speakers.
Yeah, we had a few hundred model 1903s in the RTC armory in high school. So that was in addition to the 22 rifles we had in that armory as well.
Hey, Snob, in that deal, please tell me you were the one giving up the speakers.
No, I was giving up the rifle.
Ugh.
They were 15s. I was in high school, and it was a cool
All right, fine. Let you slide this time.
And I traded a set of golf clubs for the rifle, so it wasn't like it was a big deal.
And I had full access to that armory too. For 3 of the 4 years I was in high school. I had my own key to it. You know what? Not a single one of those rifles ever went anywhere it wasn't supposed to.
Well, 35 years later, one will come up.
No, I'm not trying to get on the Supreme Court, John.
Don't worry.
I thought he was good.
Whenever it happens, just send out a Twitter.
Yeah, I thought he was going to say it was going to come up in a Mexican drug cartel war.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be surprising either. I mean,
yeah. I was doing the original Fast and Furious, right, with bolt action rifles. I don't think the Mexican cartel would have wanted them.
The sad part is they probably would have.
Yeah, maybe. They were 30-06, so maybe not.
They could have been a sniper then.
Yeah, 1903 could make a good sniper rifle. I mean, they were used for that.
1903 was a damn fine sniper rifle.
What are you talking about? All anybody needs is a flintlock.
They need a matchlock. You know, nothing like having a burning piece of rope right over the flash pan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anybody else got anything else they want to talk about? I think we've beaten that topic. Oh, man.
Scotsman, you got nothing else?
I'm shocked. Scotsman usually has something to say about something.
Dude, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I've been going since early hours of the morning. I literally got home, jumped on here, and then I got my own chat to do in another 35 minutes.
Yeah, I'm saying just think you still got your own show to do yet.
And I still got 2 more hours of that to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna we'll wing it.
He's like, damn it! Now that Rich stole all my topics and I was going to talk about on my show tonight.
I mean, I don't even have anything from my show, honestly, which is bad. But honestly, I don't have squat.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous because Budget went on before I did tonight because he missed his show on Friday. I was like, please don't let Budget go and bring up the same topics I'm doing. Because, yeah, that would have been good. We would have been then literally doing our own version of Fox News.
Mine are generally bringing on someone new so they can kind of be a part of the community and have them as a guest and have them talk a lot. That's generally kind of what I try to do every week. I have the staples that show up every week, but
Yeah,
I try to
been
bring
doing a lot of like having C-Max and people on too lately.
Yeah, I try to bring on the people that are out there that we're trying to help as well, like C-Max, for example. He was on last week, and that was good to have him on. I don't get to talk to him enough. I've got his number, but unfortunately, a lot of times he's tired, exhausted, and can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable with what he's going through. I mean, it's amazing that sometimes where he even can get out of bed and do the show, any show,
Yep. Yeah.
My brother was a lot younger than him, and when he was dealing with leukemia, and there were days where he didn't even want to get out of bed with all the chemo and everything they had him on at the time.
Yeah, it's tough. Definitely tough. One of the few times that I've talked to him on the phone about what's going on, and one of the last times I talked to him was when he barely could walk, and they couldn't figure out why he couldn't walk. And then, magically with physical therapy and some other stuff, he was able to start walking again. And he's doing good. He's gaining strength, but he still struggles. And they still have no clue why. So to have him on and have him on there for a good period of time was nice to see.
Yeah. That was definitely nice to see for sure. Yeah.
That says something about a person, though, whenever they're going through all that and are still willing to, talk about it and have a good attitude about it and stuff. Because there's days I have no health problems, and there's days I don't want to do stuff like that,
Yeah. When you stop wanting to do things, and when you stop going and doing things, and when you start to feel down about it, that's when things start to get worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you walk away from everything, that's when you're going to start having problems.
I don't disagree, but a lot of people do, though.
Yeah. And they do. They'll walk right away. They won't even hesitate. They'll walk away from it, and before you know it, they're in a slumber, and they don't know what to do.
Oh, they just start feeling sorry for themselves, and then pitiful.
Well, like C-Max, for example, he stays tough. He shows up when he can. He hasn't made videos for a while, but he's made a couple, but not many. But he understands, and he's a big part of this community, and the community standing behind him. And so when he can, He shows up, and when he can make a video, he makes a video.
Absolutely.
For those of you out who might not know what we're talking about, C-Max is a fellow YouTuber, and he's dealing with cancer and having financial issues and whatnot. So Scotsman and a few other guys that Scotsman hangs out with on other chats and whatnot got together, and they've been raising money to help him and his family out. That's what the hashtag that Rue Panther out there in the chat is, to help a brother out. So if anybody was wondering, that's what we're discussing.
So tune in to Scotsman's show after this to figure out ways to be able to help.
I'll tell you this. I can't tell you what's coming up, but there's going to be something pretty special probably in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. If you guys watch my last video, you'll see that something was sent to me from another YouTuber, and it's pretty freaking sweet, and it concerns C-Max. But that and a couple other things that's going to be coming up here in about 2 to 3 weeks' time, there'll be a new video coming out, and it's going to be pretty special. And it's a multiple giveaways, not just a giveaway for C-Max. It's not just a giveaway to gain subs or anything like that. It's a triple threat. There's a lot of things involved with what's going on with this particular one coming up, but it's pretty big. And if you've ever thought about reloading and are scared to bite the bullet, stay tuned.
And folks, I'm telling you right now, if Scotsman's saying this is going to be big, it's going to be big. You're talking. This is a guy here that him and his buddies have donated rifles and handguns and given away as for the people as raffles in the donation program that they've been doing. So if he's saying this is going to be big, this is going to be big.
So would you say it's going to be huge?
It's gonna be huge.
Huge.
It's gonna be huge.
Huge. I can't do the New Yorker. I'm sorry. Someone do a New Yorker.
John.
Hey, it's gonna be huge. Hey, what are you talking about? This thing is gonna be tremendous.
And Scotsman, in case you don't know, the reason why we all went right to John on that, he happens to be from New York.
Oh, I know. He's stuck behind them many lines. I know. Poor bastard.
Help me! Help me!
He could get out if he wanted to.
He says he's moving to Missouri, but I haven't seen any signs of it yet. John, how's that going?
Missouri's a good place, man.
And guys, just to bring this up too, not only has Scotsman and the other guys gone and done raffles and stuff, Scotsman have actually sacrificed one of his own most beloved possessions to help out C-Max. You want to let them know what that one was, Scotsman?
That would be a Smith & Wesson Model 19-3 that was in perfect condition, barely shot, with the original box and a nice holster that I've carried for the last 3 years.
So when I say big, I mean big, folks. Those Smith & Wesson Model 19s don't grow on trees.
No, they do not.
It took me 3.5 years to find that one, if that gives you any indication.
And it also shows how dedicated you are, brother.
Right on.
Yeah, just try to do what I can, man. It's, I've had a few people jump off here and there and make some various comments, and I've just told them, look, you don't like it, leave. I don't care. That's not, if you can't understand what I'm doing, you don't deserve to be here.
Amen to that. If you can't understand why somebody is out there trying to help somebody else in their hour of need, get the fuck out. I mean, seriously, go jump off the planet somewhere. I don't know where. I don't care where. Go away. People like that just disgust me.
It's bad, but unfortunately, there are people out there like that.
Yeah.
And they're inconsequential to our lives.
I wanted to say something else, but then I caught myself because I don't feel like having to deal with getting a strike.
Yeah, don't get a strike, man. Let's kind of keep it mild.
Yeah. You hit the nerve on one of the things that really just drives me nuts. It's like they were doing one of the things where the bikers go around Christmas last year. Where you see them like outside your Walmart or whatever, and they're collecting clothes items and stuff for veterans that are in nursing homes and whatnot. Some woman was going off. How dare you do that? Blah, blah, blah. That's what the government's for. Blah, 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 blah. I wanted to fucking punch her in the mouth so goddamn bad. I just wanted to knock her teeth out.
See, that's one thing the Amish have figured out. They don't want the government's help. They help each other.
Exactly, and that's what this is for me anyway, and a lot of other people here too. Is we call ourselves a community. We're a community for a reason, and what a community does, community sticks together.
Amen.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely correct.
So if you don't like the shit I do, fuck off.
You know what I find a lot of people who prefer to have the government take care of them? Those same people that want shit from the government and not have to think on their own. God forbid they should use their brains more than 2 minutes per day. Those are the same people who don't give a shit about anybody else. All they see is themselves in the world.
And it's sad, and I'll tell you this, and you guys can take this for whatever you want, but for what it's worth. But my eldest brother, I can't even call him my brother. I disowned him a long time ago because he still feeds off the fucking government to this day. He has not had a job, and I don't know how many years. The only time he had a job, he had it for 2 weeks. I've been working since I was 12 years old, and I've never been out of work for more than 2 weeks. And that entire time I've been working. So I've been working 20, 22, 23, something years, somewhere in there, with 2 weeks where I've been out of work. That's it.
You know, Scotsman, there's a lot of things beat work. A lot of things that beat working these days, apparently.
I wish I could get my doctor to clear me. Like, God damn it, just clear me so I can go do something. I feel absolutely useless because the doctor will not let me work. Because you said you were a cop before, Snob, right?
Yep.
You know that line of work. If a doctor says you can't work, you can't work. And that's where I'm sitting right now. It's like, God, would you just clear me to do something like desk duty for somewhere, for like the prosecutor's office or something. God, I'm sitting here with a student loan debt that I can't pay right now because the doctor won't let me work. My wife and kids are all working. I'm sitting here. I feel useless because the doctor won't let me do anything.
That's the same thing that happened to me when I got hurt in the detention center. They wouldn't let me work limited duty, and they wouldn't even take me and put me into another title. They outright refused to do that. And then that's when they medically released me.
Yeah. I got on the 9th of October, I have a VA appointment. Hopefully everything goes well there. And at least be able to bring some kind of money into the house. But one thing I told
the
my
appointment
wife
on the 9th, so you'll still be there on the 12th.
Yeah. Well, if they ever get that straightened out, I told my wife already, I'm good because they're supposed to pay you up to a year in arrear from when you filed your notice to apply or to appeal your previous decision. So they get that taken care of. They say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and put you on the paid disability instead of just only getting medical coverage, which is what I'm at now, just getting medical coverage from them. I told my wife I'm just going to go and get my take some of that money, do the LLC, get the bond paid for, and just get my PI license and maybe be able to do something with that. Because then I can work for the prosecutor's office as an investigator because that's not connected to the actual law enforcement. Even though under West Virginia law, if you're a PI for the prosecutor's office, they still consider you to be law enforcement, which is weird how that works, but yeah. So I'm hoping that's one of the things I'm going to be able to do if that goes and everything goes well with that. But I won't be restricted as like where the doctor can, you can't work. Yeah, well, you know what? I work for myself, so haha.
If you need help with the LLC, let me know, brother.
I'm just sitting here waiting now, Scotsman. I already got so the application, everything's all been filed and all the paperwork. Just got to go through the physical evaluations and stuff now.
Gotcha.
It's basically a hurry up and wait game.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I've got my LLC as well, and I have yet to get anywhere with that, but I have it. It's there. Done.
Yeah, I got to get that in payment and everything. Right now, I don't have the money to finish all that up.
Well, there's a lot of difference between not being able to work physically or not being, like your case, the doctor won't release you, than just not wanting to and making up reasons not to work.
And that's kind of what I was saying. Like my eldest brother, he's a piece of shit. And quite honestly, and I've said this in the past, and I even told him to his freaking face, and I don't care. Dude, drop dead. if you can't be something worth to society and help the person you're living with, which he still lives with my mother, which is freaking sad.
Yeah. My friends were asking if there was a statute that I had to wait a certain time. No, it wasn't that there was a statute that I had to wait a certain time. What happened with me was I was discharged from basic training or on medical grounds. They diagnosed me as being hypertensive. And since that point, I've been going to doctors and everything. It's been almost 20 years that I've been going through this with the VA, where then they keep saying, and now it's turned out that the hypertension, which is, you don't know, that's high blood pressure, but mine was severe at the time. Now it's connected to kidney disease. So now they got to reevaluate and reassess and get everything figured out. I'm hoping that answered your question out there, Jared, because that's what's going on with me right now.
Well, I'm sorry you have to deal with the VA. Period.
Yeah, when I first got discharged, they said it was enough for me to be discharged from the military. Then said it was less than 10% of a disability. So I got hosed on that deal. I got kicked out of the military for something that I could have been treated for with a pill while still in the military. But because it was during basic training, they don't treat you. They just kick you out. Yeah. No, Vanessa, I still got to. They haven't reevaluated yet. I still got to go for the. That's what I was just saying. October 9th, I got to go for the doctor's visit on that.
But best of luck to you, brother. Best of luck. I got to jump out. I got to start getting prepped for my stream. But I appreciate the invite, brother. It's a pleasure to be here. And guys, check out hashtag Help a Brother Out. There's going to be some special stuff coming up pretty soon. So stay tuned. And Rich, really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it.
See you later, Scotsman.
You have a good one, Scotsman.
You too. See you guys.
Is the show going to be on your channel tonight or Alan's?
On mine. Yep, 9:30.
All right, folks. So if we're still going by then and you want to jump over to Scotsman's channel at 9:30.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Later, fella.
John, how are you coming on your move? Have you found anywhere yet? Or are you still just monkeying around with it?
Well, you know my situation. There's still things I have to take care of before I can do anything right now. So I wish I could say tomorrow, but that's not gonna happen. So,
man, when I lived at the other place, I told you could have pitched a tent in the front yard, and then we could have built you like a little cabin.
no, you didn't mention anything about the cabin, dude.
Well, I told you, man,
putting my stuff together right now.
You know, might have been the size of an outhouse, but we could have.
Ain't nothing wrong with an outhouse. It's got all the amenities I need.
Can you at least get a reclining seat?
A reclining outhouse.
I don't know if John needs a reclining seat. I've heard him snore pretty good in the chat. So,
That's because half the time he's laying down when doing them.
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. I can't sit down on a chair for too long.
So you got either of you guys have something you want to talk about?
I ain't got nothing right now.
Yeah. Scott's been just like killed it.
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. If Night Strike were here, he'd have something.
Shall
like-
not be infringed.
I don't know why he didn't show up tonight. Yeah, usually, I don't know if you guys have watched when he's been on here. We'll be getting ready to wrap it up. All of a sudden, he comes up with something else to talk about. It's like,
Yeah, he's pretty good about that.
yeah. God, the one night we didn't have a topic. We're waiting. We were actually waiting because Yankee. It was the night Yankee was doing his show where he had Tim and a bunch of other people on over there a couple weeks ago. So we're sitting here. We're just talking, waiting because we're like, yeah, we'll give Yankee time to finish up because since it was a special episode and who knows how many people were over there watching him still. So we're sitting here. We're just talking about SKS rifles for like an hour. And Night Strike's like, let's just go live and talk about this. I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? So we went live and we talked about SKS rifles for almost 2 hours. It's just one of those things. I don't remember if I had anything planned that night or not. Yeah, I did. That was the night where we talked about the burglar who got caught because he drove into a pile of cow manure.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
So, well, if nobody else has anything they can think of to talk about, we can start wrapping this one up. You got anything you want to plug, John?
Now just go check out the Crazy Scotsman and hashtag help a brother out. Don't forget to check out gunchannels.com. It's free. And hop on the chats with like-minded people. And don't forget to check out gearwebsites.com. And of course, if you're not already subscribe to everybody on this channel. And that's it. Thanks for the invite.
Andrew Faulkner out there in the chat just threw out there a guy in Houston had completed 80% Glocks confiscated. His family turned him in, and cops are throwing around untraceable. That doesn't make them illegal.
Yeah, but as right leaning as Texas is, Houston is very left leaning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Look at their last mayor before the one they got now. She wanted to ban the Bible. You know, clear First Amendment violation right there.
Now, as long as they don't have Sadiq Khan, they're doing good already. Anyway.
Snob, you got anything you want to plug, brother?
Oh, not really. Just check out my 100 sub giveaway I'm doing. It's over this week. And other than that, thanks for the invite. Enjoyed it.
It's always good when I send out invites and people show up. Let me tell you. Like, what was it last week? I think nobody showed up. It was like, I was begging people in the chat, hey, you want to join in?
I didn't realize what time your show was last week whenever I postponed my Saturday show to Sunday, and I was doing it at the same time as you.
Were you?
Yeah. Wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were. Because, well, that's because, remember, YouTube went and deleted my subscription to you.
I've been getting a lot of that. Like, people I'm subscribed to, I'm like, why is it, why am I not seeing their stuff? I'm like, oh, I got unsubscribed. I got unsubscribed from Sarge, from Night Strike. I don't remember who else. There was 3.
Yeah, I was like, why am I know Snob said Thursday he was going to be doing his show tonight. Why am I not getting a notification? So I looked through my subscription list, and boom, you weren't there no more.
You know what's funny? because I thumbs up all the videos of everybody I subscribe to, when I find out that I get unsubscribed, it's because it shows up in my suggested video feed. And I'm like, wait, why is this in my suggested? I'm subscribed to them, but I'm not
I get
now.
no, that I don't think that's it, John. Because I get in my suggestions, I get things that I'm subscribed to, and I'm still sub to them. So that can't
Well,
be.
no. What I'm saying is, it helps me. It helps me find out that YouTube unsubscribed me when it comes up in my suggested feed, and I could see that it says
Oh,
subscribe, and I know I've been subscribed to them already.
oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. Let's say yeah, because I get I get the suggestions from things I'm sub to all the time, and so yeah, okay. I get what you're saying now. You can when you go to click on the video, you see that the subscribe button's not clicked.
Right, when you go home on YouTube, it gives you suggested videos,
Right.
as well as channels you're subscribed to, and then you have your option of only going to your subscriptions.
Right.
So
Yeah.
sometimes that's how, when I'm in the home, YouTube home, and the suggestion videos come up, sometimes I see it's just like, wait, I'm subscribed to this. Why is it telling me to subscribe?
Right. Yeah. I got you now.
I know YouTube's got some issues with stuff like that right now.
Yeah, it's part of Google. Of course, it has many issues.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
one of them I got unsubscribed from was like video influencers or one of those. So it wasn't, anything gun channel or anything. It was just, they just have issues with their system.
the first one. You're the first one I actually caught that I've ever been unsubscribed from. So
Well, I did that with Sarge a while back because he sent me an invite to be on the show, and I was on the show, and I went to looking for it to pop out my chat, and I'm like, why don't I have it? And then when I finally typed in his name and it came up, it said subscribe. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Google just has so many things that so many other things can go wrong with. Like we were talking before the show, how my Hangouts just had a stroke last week when Clover was doing his Patreon chat. I had to find Internet Explorer to open the chat back up in there because nothing Google would work that night after that.
I knew you said during that chat you were griping about it having problems.
Yeah.
My Google browser, Google Chrome, constantly has issues. It's constantly force quitting itself.
Really, see, my Google Chrome doesn't ever do that to me. Just
Mine
likes me
always
better or
does.
something.
I've had issues with Chrome, but I haven't had it with Jetstream, which is a other browser that uses the Chromium. It's Chrome offshot. Chromium's the base that Chrome works off of.
Because I had tons of trouble with my Microsoft Edge or whatever, the new Internet Explorer. I've had tons of trouble with it freezing up and doing stupid stuff, but never with my Chrome.
Yeah, it's funny. You try and open up Hangouts in Edge, and it opens them up, and then it switches over to Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
So for all the nonsense about Explorer not being in Windows 10 anymore, it's still in Windows 10, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Preferred
Well,
Internet
if you
Explorer.
look at the E, it's still the Explorer E, no matter what just because it says Microsoft Edge.
Yeah, it's Edge. The E stands for Edge now.
Yeah.
It
But
sounds so much cooler.
The old school Internet Explorer is still built into Windows 10. It didn't go anywhere. No matter how many times you hear people tell you it did, it's still there. In fact, I'm not going to screen share, but I actually, by the way, the old school taskbar, not the pinned thing, but the old school taskbar, that's still there too. Is I have it enabled. I just like it better.
Have you guys also noticed Google, the web browser, also had a recent update? They made the whole look of it different.
Yeah, I'm not a big
I don't
fan
think
of
so.
Chrome.
Well, when I have issues with that, I usually go to Opera. Opera's a pretty good browser too.
And the one thing I on my 2-in-1, I have, I believe it's called Jetstream. Like I said, it's a Chrome offshot, but it's more customizable than what Chrome is, and it doesn't have Google's tracking in it.
I usually turn off most of my tracking on Google anyway. I don't need to remember certain things.
Yeah, but Google has its own internal tracking. No matter what you do, you're not going to be able to turn it
Well,
off.
yeah. I mean, that goes without
But yeah, this doesn't have any. This has all that stripped out of it. Yep, we lost Schnob.
Yeah, that's why I use Opera, because they're the same way. You
Yeah.
could turn off all the tracking and there's nothing there. It doesn't save anything.
And the main issue I have with like Chrome, well, or the other one I'm using, I don't like the tabs being at the top. I actually like them being underneath the address bar. But
See what happens when you badmouth Google? You get kicked out of the Hangout.
yeah,
Actually, that was me. I was in here clicking buttons on my screen and didn't realize I had the Hangouts window open when I went to open a new tab, and it opened on top of it.
I'm just glad you're not the pilot on my plane. Just clicking everything.
Wrong button.
Oops.
whoop, there goes some landing gear. Folks, this is your captain speaking. I just accidentally dumped the fuel. We're going to have to be making an emergency landing.
Never mind. Well, we're just going to drop straight down right now. Hold on. Your seat.
In case of a crash, your seat can be used as a personal flotation device. Yeah, I just wish it was like Firefox where you could put the tabs underneath. Because that's what I'm used to doing. And then I keep looking for the tabs and I go, oh, nope, wait, they're up top.
Is Firefox still around?
Yeah.
I had Firefox recently, and I had a lot of trouble with it. I ended up deleting it, and I used to love Firefox years ago.
Yeah. Firefox is slower on my 2-in-1 than what Chrome is. But, so I've been which is why I went and got that other derivative of Chrome, put it on there. I actually like that on my 2-in-1. But for this one, because I'm on my Alienware right now, I would rather use Firefox, but Firefox is actually fast on this computer compared to my other one. But you can't do Hangouts in Firefox, so I have to have Chrome.
I'm probably going to buy a MacBook next time I buy a computer.
We have a convert. Yay.
Oh, I've wanted one for a long time. I just can't afford one because the one I want's about $3,200.
No, you're right. They are super pricey, overpriced.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I can do a heck of a lot more on this than I could on a Mac.
And if you spend $3,200 on a PC, you've got a heck of a PC.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've said it before. This is a $2,200 to $2,400 laptop. I got it factory refurb from somebody selling it on eBay for $16. So
I'm just a tightwad. I just don't spend that much.
Yeah, but I could use this for video editing, video gaming, all kinds of
I
stuff.
don't do gaming, but I do my editing, and I've just got a Dell, and I'm patient with it, and it's fine. I mean, it's a big, I don't know, it's like a 26-inch screen or something, touch screen all in one or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
i5.
the sad part about Apple is you can get the most basic computer to do just the most basic stuff, but the very first second you try to do any more than that, and you already have to upgrade. And those basic computers are still like super pricey compared to what a PC is.
Oh yeah, like the cheapest MacBook's like $1,300 or $1,400.
And there you are so limited.
Have you looked on eBay for a factory refurb?
No, I haven't looked that much because I'm not in the mood to spend so much money. I just want a laptop that's fast because I've either got an old laptop or I bought my daughter a cheap Dell a year or so ago.
Here's the thing about factory refurbs that you're going to find on eBay. A lot of them are ones that people ordered, decided they didn't want, and then sent it back. Never been used. This laptop,
they're still super pricey.
This not as pricey as what they would because they can't sell them as new. Like I said, this one is when it was new would have been $2,200 to $2,400. I bought it when it was still new, but it was a factory refurb. I only paid $1,600 for it. You can
No,
get a
and like Snob said, he's too cheap to pay, so he doesn't want to spend
Yeah.
it.
well.
I
If
want to
he's
spend the
looking at a
$1,000 or less.
if he's looking at a $1,300 MacBook, new is $1,300. You're going to get that same discount percentage wise,
You
most
still
likely if
you
you were to buy a
right.
refurb off of
No,
eBay.
nobody's saying you're not getting the discount. The problem is that's the low end of their computers.
Yeah, I know that.
Once you try to do any more than what that computer can handle, you already
Yeah.
have to upgrade to another
Oh,
computer.
yeah, no kidding. That's the
So
I just want
the
to.
discount you get for a refurb really doesn't mean anything.
I just want to get me a laptop that's fast enough to edit video and stuff and all that, but because that Dell we have is junk. We have a Toshiba that's several years old, and that's a lot better computer than an almost brand new Dell.
Jared. I don't know how much longer we're gonna be going, but you got Scotsman if you get back up, who's gonna be starting, and he usually goes for about 2 hours. Scotsman's gonna be starting here in just a couple of minutes, and then Midnight will be on later tonight.
All night.
Yeah, he usually starts around between 10:30 and 11, depending on how busy he was.
And don't forget to eat before you join Midnight's chat.
Yeah.
Make sure you stock up on Slim Jim candy bars.
Because that show will make you hungry.
And you'll be there for hours.
Yep, you might want to run to your local Walmart and get a couple boxes of Slim Jim candy bars, folks.
Heck yeah.
So,
I didn't even know you were still alive, John. I hadn't seen you in a month, probably.
I saw you a couple of days ago
When? I don't remember seeing
on
you
your
in a while.
chat.
Oh, was you there? My
Yeah.
bad. Okay, well, I haven't seen you in a long time before that. Sorry.
Ding dong.
I haven't been in a chat with you in a long time, anyways.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm still around.
yeah, it wasn't like when we were on Sarge's show and then we went right over and we're watching Clover show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was we hadn't seen each other in just so long.
I've been really busy lately, so I ain't been hanging out on gun channels much, and that's usually where I see John.
Yeah.
I'm on gun channels, but
John's been a busy new worker.
yeah. Trying to keep busy. No.
Doing who knows what. John out there.
You start Amazoning it up.
John's out there on the street corner peddling powdered sugar as cocaine.
You got to do what you got to do.
Players got to make the money, right?
I
mean, I'll come see you if you got powdered sugar. I'm not a cocaine fan, but I can eat powdered sugar plain. So just give it to me by the spoonful.
Well, it's either that or the sprinkles and coconut.
Yeah, well, fellers, I think it's time to call this one quits for tonight. And thank everybody for being out there and watching, and you two for being on the panel, and Scotsman and Tardot for when they were here. And you all have a good night, and we will see you next week. Bye. Doesn't seem right. There was no shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed.
Thank you, John. Later, folks.